Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome to Learn Online. I'm Abhilash Verma, your trainer. So this is our first class on Python, right? So in the brochure which I have shared you people earlier, that I clearly told you what all the things will be covered. Anyways, we shall discuss that one more time. Okay. So one more time, please. Am I loud and clear? Please confirm one more time in the chat box, everyone. Am I audible clearly? Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, just give me a second. Right, let us start. So as I told you guys, few details about the course before we start the topic. So these are the topics that we will be discussing, guys. So basics in Python. Okay, so followed by data structures, object orientation. So special features in Python, multi-threading, regular expressions, file operations, exception handling, loggers, accessions, and what is pickling and unpickling and networking in Python, and Python to database connectivity. So these are the topics that we are going to cover in our entire course. Now, if you ask me what is course content, as I told you earlier, guys, it will be 150 plus hours, okay, including our projects. Okay, so now coming to the duration, guys, it might range from 3 to 4 months. Okay, I'm not sure about it. It will be 3 to 4 months, depending upon one second, the pace, depending upon the pace at which we go. So it might take 3 to 4 months. Okay, so there is no class group, Tarun. Okay, guys, there is no class group. I'll let you know about all those things, people. Okay, yeah. So timings, guys, every day, as I told you, 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. in the evening. Okay, so that will be our timing every day. And notes, do not bother about the notes, people. You will clearly get the entire PDF notes of every class on day-to-day basis. Okay, so after every single class, soon after the completion of the class, guys, you will get a PDF of whatever we have covered in the notes. Now recordings, yes, every class will be recorded and that will be uploaded in the app. So for the first 5 classes, which are demo classes, they will be uploaded in the batch, core Python batch. I hope you guys are already have downloaded the app and you are already in the course called Core Python in the batch. Okay, so in that batch, if you see the video section, so every class will be uploaded to that particular batch. So you just have to open the batch. On the top, check for the videos. So you will get the video of every single class. So you can repeat it any number of times, people. Even if you miss the class, do not bother about it. Soon after the class, the video will be available. Okay, so now as I told you guys, fee, we are charging rupees 500 for this entire course. Now you might be wondering why I'm charging only 500. Why I'm charging only 500, guys? Look, initially I wanted to give, because this is the first online batch of us in the Learn Online, so we want to give it for free. But most of the people, they don't value the content when it is given for the free. Like I have seen in the Java classes which we were giving free earlier, and in the aptitude and the verbal classes, right? So that is the reason, guys. This is not a free content, and it will be paid, and the cost of it will be 500 rupees. Well, this is only for this batch, guys, but for coming batches and all, obviously the price will be much more than this. That I will let you know. But for this batch, we will be charging only rupees 500. And with respect to the content, I have clearly mentioned what all the things we will be covering. And for example, let us say if you talk about what is this, the basics of Python itself will take, the basics of Python itself will take more than 50 hours, people. So what all we'll be discussing when I say basics of the Python, people, we just start with the introduction to the Python, and we shall discuss its a history, and then slowly we start our writing our basic programs, and then we shall discuss what are the different keywords are there in the Python, identifiers, control flow, functions, modules, and what is object orientation in brief. We will not be discussing in detail, but we will be discussing in brief what is object orientation and what all the different data types are there, Okay, which are the basic data types, advanced data types, and what are the different types of the data types are there. So all those things we shall discuss in brief, but not in detail, in basic Python, guys. That is in basic Python. So once we are done with the basics, guys, now once we go into the data structures in Python or data types, we will be discussing only advanced data types. Now, which are those advanced data types? That you will understand when we start the topic. Okay, so followed by object orientation and the other modules which are there in the topic. So this is about the complete course details. Now, if you have any doubts about this before we start the actual class, if you have any doubts, you can ask, guys. You can ask if you have any doubts. So I think I have given the complete information, right? So if you have any doubts, you can ask. No one? No doubts means just say continue. We shall start with the classes, people. You will teach problems for each concept. Yes, Ramasai, we will be dealing with the problems as well. We will be dealing with the problems as well, and we will be dealing with even the memory mapping of every problem also. Okay, so is it necessary we should know Java? No, Supriya, you don't need any of programming knowledge prior to this course. If you just understand English, that is more than sufficient. Yes, Suri, you can take up this course without laptop, but I suggest you, if you have laptop or computer in front of you, it will be better. Look, guys, if you want to learn better, don't just listen to the class. What I tell you is have a laptop in front of you. Maybe for the first 2-3 days, you don't need. But once we start the actual concepts, once we start writing the actual programs, if you can write the program along with me in the class, and if you can check in your system the execution part, it will be more beneficial for you. So I suggest you to have a laptop or a computer with you, people. Yes, even without that, definitely you can do that. But make sure, maybe at least after the class, try to practice the programs, whatever we do in the class. Okay. So what else? Just a second. Basics, tell deeply, sir. Do not bother about it, buddy. We will be spending more time on the basics only than the advanced. We will make sure that you will understand the complete syntax and which operators to use, which data types to use. Okay, so we will be spending more time on the basics, people. Only when you're strong with your basics, guys, we can go to the advanced concepts. So majority of our time will be spending on the basics, guys. Okay. Yes, Mr. Sai, we will be doing at least 2 projects is what I told earlier, right? So we will try to do at least 5 mini projects and 2 full-fledged projects by the end of the course. So is complete Python course? Yes, Navya. It is a complete Python course, buddy. We will be covering both basic Python, core Python, and advanced. Both core as well as advanced Python we will be covering here, but we will not be learning the frameworks here, okay, except the frameworks part. So if we do just the frameworks part, then that becomes a full stack course, people, and we will be needing another 70-80 hours for the frameworks. So frameworks is not included in this. We will be learning only till advanced Python. That is basically object orientation. Okay, so what else? Can we clear the drive coding by this classes? Who is that asking? Can we clear the drive coding by this classes? Indrajit, no. If you ask me just by attending this class, if you can clear the any coding around, I say blatantly no, people. If any trainer ever tells you that, just attend my classes and you can clear the coding round, no, just don't believe them. Not just coding part, people. You take any subject, be it aptitude, reasoning, verbal ability, coding, group discussion. Just by attending classes, you can never clear any of the rounds. What we do is we provide you only 20% of what you need. Remaining 75% completely depends on your self-study, buddy. That's all I can say. But whatever you need to improve yourself, yes, that we will provide you here. Now, if you do each and everything that I'll tell you in the class, yes, definitely you can clear the coding round. Okay. Nagar Babu, I'm sorry, buddy, I cannot help with you. Then I help with you that. Okay, you can, you must use someone of your friends or relatives so that the practicing will be easier for you. How to do the practice? Because just by attending the classes, you cannot remember the syntax and the programs. You have to type them on your own. At least use your college laptop, college computers, anything. But make sure you practice programs, or else it will be difficult for you to master them. Okay, so next. Yes, Sumuk is asking, can we put it on our resume after this course? Will we be able to answer the questions of what interviewer asks? Yes. Who is this? Sumuk. Let me tell you one point here. Look, if you're talking about the certificate part, yes, everybody will get the course completion certificate, people. Online certificate you will get. But trust me, guys, you do your course in any institute in India. If you're depending on the certificate, people, trust me, every certificate is useless. No MNC considers any of the certificate that you produce from any of the institutes. They do not believe in those certificates. Yes, you will get the certificate. You can put it in your resume, but do not bother much about the certification. Rather, bother much about the content, people. Yes, while we are doing, guys, along with the technical part, along with the programming part, every time we are discussing a concept, we will even discuss what kind of the interview questions, or what kind of the questions they can ask you in the interview from this particular topic. That we will definitely do. Okay, so we will not just learn here how to, how to code, but we also learn how to crack the interview as well, how to answer the questions. Okay. What else? Sumuk, I think I replied to your question, buddy. So what else? Nitin, ऐसा नहीं हो सकता भाई, हिंदी में तो we cannot teach. बस लेकिन आपको कभी भी कुछ दिक्कत हुआ, if you have a problem in understanding, हाँ ठीक है, कोई डाउट्स आया तब मैं हिंदी में एक्सप्लेन कर सकता हूं, लेकिन पूरा कोर्स तो इंग्लिश में ही होना चाहिए. अभी कब तक ऐसे बोलते रहते हैं आप, सर आप हिंदी में पढ़ाइए, कन्नड़ा में पढ़ाइए, तेलुगु में पढ़ाइए. नो, यू कैन नॉट, पीपल. You have to learn English, buddy. You have to learn English. If you want to learn English, then you have to listen to that. You have to listen when someone is speaking in English, and you have to try to implement it on your own. Only then you will learn, or else it will be difficult. ठीक है, आपको जो भी डाउट है कोई बात नहीं, आप पूछिए, मैं बिल्कुल हिंदी में एक्सप्लेन करता हूँ. ठीक है. और so after completion of this course, shall I be able to create a site and application? Now you cannot go with the APIs and the site, buddy, for which you need to learn frameworks. Yes, you can create a basic website, but you cannot create applications, because you need to learn the frameworks as well. Okay. Yes, yes, Ajin, you can go with the PyCharm, not a problem. Next, what else doubt we have? Yes, with respect to the job opportunities, I will mention, buddy, in between what all you get. Okay, so like just once we start the course, guys, you will get to know what all the opportunities that you get by learning Python. Okay, I will clearly mention each and every single role that you can apply for. Okay, next. Yes, Bhumika, aptitude class will be there at 9 o'clock after this class. Okay. So yeah, how to download Python and all, do not worry about it, Harisha. For now, I will clearly tell you guys in the live class. I will show you how to download and how to set up everything. I will show you in the live class itself. So for now, don't bother about it. When the need comes, I will only show that. Okay. So I hope that's all, guys. Can we start the session then? Can we start the session, everybody? Please confirm in the chat box one more time, everybody. Nobody. Right now, we won't be dealing with the frameworks. Frameworks will be a separate class. Okay, that will be a separate batch. After we finish the advanced Python, then we will be starting the frameworks, but that will not come under this course, guys. Okay, so frameworks will be paid course. That will be a complete paid course, and what will be the charges and all that we will let you know. Okay, when we have to pay the fees, guys, you have 5 days time. Okay, so till Friday you can attend the free demo classes every day. Now if you like the course and if you like our teaching, then by Friday you must purchase the course. So way to purchase the course, simple. If you have already downloaded the app, people, in the store, if you open store, you will see something called Complete Python. In the store, you will find a course called Complete Python. So there you can directly purchase the course. But right till for the first 5 classes, yes, you need not to purchase any course, or directly you can attend the classes, guys. But once the first 5 days are done, guys, then yes, you have to purchase. From the 6th class onwards, we will be having every class, every recorded class only in the purchased course, guys. Okay, so that's all. Now I think I have explained each and every single doubt, so it is time to start the session, guys. Okay, now, I think we got one more doubt. So will I be able to crack a coding part in the placements after completion of the course? That's what I told you, Balaji. I cannot assure you. If anybody tells you that you can code, you can easily crack the coding part after attending the classes, no, do not trust them. Even if I say, don't trust me, buddy. I will provide you whatever you want. I will provide you everything that you need to crack the coding round. But only thing is, but Ravi, text me in the WhatsApp later. I will send you the link. Okay. So Balaji, that's what I'm telling you. Have to put yourself practice, buddy. The more you practice, it will be more convenient for you in the coding round. So what are the things you need to practice for that? Yes, I will help you with that part. But it completely depends on your hard work, buddy. Am I clear, Balaji? Okay, great. So let us start, guys. So firstly, many people were asking me, so why Python, why not Java? Why Python, why not Java? Between them, why should I choose Python? Just a second. Among Java, there are multiple reasons, people. There are multiple reasons to select Python over Java. No, I'm not telling that Java is not important. Yes, Java, of course, is one of the most important languages today. Now, but still, why I'm selecting Python over Java is one of the main reasons is, people, simplicity in the programming language, the simplicity in the syntax, and the understandability, readability is much better in Python when you compare it with the Java. Now, if you want to see an example, guys, okay, let me share my browser. Can you see the browser? Can you see the browser, everyone? Can you see the browser? Is it visible? Google Chrome? Yes. Okay. So let us just try to print a simple program in both Java and Python. Let us see how easier it is to print in Java and how easier it is to print in Python. Okay. Suppose, for example, let me take any online Java compiler. So if I take some online Java compiler, I have some already, there is something written here, that is fine. So let us try to type a simple program like, welcome to learn online, welcome to learn online. So firstly with the Java, and then we'll try with the Python, guys. Let us see how do we type it and what is the difference between both of them. Okay. So suppose if I start with the Java part, observe, let us try to print welcome to learn online. That's all I would like to print and nothing else. So what do I get? For example, let's say, we'll create a class, public class main, and then a main function started. And then we shall go with public static void. Do not bother about what all these things for now. Okay, just look at the program. Ignore the spelling mistakes, guys. We will correct them later. Now, if I just want to print, if I just have to print, so what do we use here in the print function? We use a system dot out dot println. Okay, you can use it, or even if you don't use that, that won't be a problem. That is fine. So if I want to, we have to use double quotes, because since we are printing a string here. Okay, now since we are using the string here, let me just say welcome to LOL or welcome to Learn Online. Okay, so what happens if we try to execute this? What happens if we try to execute this? Yeah, I'm sorry, we forgot to use a semicolon. Did we miss any point here? Yes. Another biggest problem here is case sensitivity. Okay. Okay. So what do we got? Welcome to LOL. Simple program. There is no much difficulty in this. I'll just copy it and I'll paste it in our notebook. Let us try to verify it later. This is a very simple program. Okay. Now, guys, suppose if I try to print it in Python, if I try to do it in Python, let us say, let us take up another online Python compiler. Okay. Now, if I have to print the same code in Python, let us see what I have to do. So all we just have to do is print. You can use single quotes or double quotes. It doesn't matter, people. Even if you want, you can use triple quotes also. Yes, there are different meanings for all of them. How they differ, that we will learn. That we will learn in when we deal with the actual program. Okay. Observe here, Python compiler. We shall use it later because still we did not install the Python, guys. We shall do that in later. Okay, don't worry about it. Suppose what do we get here? I'll just have to type welcome to LOL. Observe. Now, if I try to run this code, will this run or not? Because we did not create any of the class or the main function here. All we did is writing a single line. We just wrote a single line and still we got the same output here. Observe, welcome to LOL. Now in Java, if you observe, guys, how many lines of the code is there? In fact, if you count all together, all the lines, there will be 7 lines of the code. But whereas in Python, we just have 6 lines of the codes. So what is happening? Observe here. When we try to print a simple program just to print welcome or hello world or welcome to Learn Online, anything. If you see here, what is the difference, people? What is the difference between them? Just see, in Java, we are taking how many lines? 7 lines altogether. Whereas in Python, we are taking only 1 line. So this is what I'm talking about, simplicity. Let us say if I want to, print the same thing, welcome to LOL, some 50 times or 100 times or any number of times, it doesn't matter. Let us see what will be the code. What will be the code here? Now we cannot keep on writing system out dot println welcome to LOL, welcome to LOL, welcome to LOL. We cannot keep on writing 100 times or 500 times, right? So for that, what we can do is we can simply use any iterative statement, or we can use any of the condition statement. Okay, so let us use a for loop here. So firstly, what I have to do is I have to create a variable and to declare it. So let us consider our variable as I don't bother about any syntax and all. I'm not teaching you any syntax here, guys. I'm just trying to show you the difference. That's all. Okay. So let us create a new variable called I and let us declare its value as a 0. And then, let us put the condition as long as I is less than 100. Or you can put it as I is less than or equal to 99. Both will be same because I'm trying to print it for 100 times. Here, it will be counted. The counting will start. Okay, I'm sorry. It is not visible, right? Let me show you. I'm sorry. I forgot to share the screen. Observe. Yeah. So if you see in Java program, okay. Observe. Sorry, people. Sorry. Now as it is visible, I think. Okay. So in Java, if I want to print it for 1,000 times, now what I'm doing is I'm simply using a for loop here. Okay. Don't bother about the syntax here. I just took a for loop and I declared a variable called I, and then I assigned it a value to 0. Now we put the condition. Okay. We put the condition that I is a less than 100 because the counting starts from the 0. If I have to print 100 times, it has to be 0 to 99. So that's why the condition is less than 100. Suppose if I have to print 500 times, we have to take 499. Or you can put, instead of less than, we can put less than or equal to, right? So, and then we keep on incrementing, we can keep on incrementing this. Okay, so this is our for condition, and then we will put it inside the flower brackets, and this is our program to print welcome to lol for 100 times. Let us try to execute it and see. Are we getting? Yes, if we can see, we are getting it 100 times, right? So this is how we print it in what is it? Java. Let me copy this. Yeah, I have copied it. Now let us see how do we print the same program in Python. Okay. Now, if I try to print it in Python, all I have to do is just multiply with 100. Now let us see whether this will work or not. Look at the output at the bottom. If you see welcome to lol, welcome to lol, welcome to lol. Well, it is not in a proper way. Nothing else. We just put a new line character here, and then you can see. Right? Welcome to lol 100 times. Welcome to lol 100 times. Okay. So now, how many lines we are taking here in Python? How many lines, guys? Wait for the doubts. Wait for the doubts. No, I will give you time. I'll give you time for the doubts. Okay. And then output you can't see, guys. Output can't you see at the bottom? At the bottom. Can you see the output, everybody? Welcome to lol. Welcome to lol. Can you see the output, everyone? Look at the bottom of the screen. Okay. So yes, so let me copy this program here. Now check, guys, we have created, let me get back to the notes here. Observe here. Look, let me separate them clearly. This is our first program in both Java as well as Python. And let us call this as our second program. Okay. Yes. And just give me a second. Entire PDF notes will be provided to you. Do not bother about copying. I will tell you what to copy, what not to copy. Okay. Don't bother to copy anything, people. Do not waste your time in copying for now. I'll let you know when to copy, when not to copy. So if you see, look at the difference, people. As I told you, one is simplicity and the other one is a readability, means understanding level. How better we can understand in Python, how better we can understand in Java. If you see in Java, guys, for our first program, we wrote 7 lines, whereas in Python, we wrote only 1 line. Again, guys, when you see, printing the same statement for 100 times, we wrote almost how many lines, people? It is close to 10 lines, whereas when this comes to, I wrote a spelling mistake here, not a problem. When it comes to Python, all it takes is only 1 line. And just look at the readability. Print welcome to lol. That's all. It can be easily understandable, even if you don't have any programming language. For example, let me put it here. This is Java, and this is Python. Okay. Let me put it in capitals. So sample program in Java and sample program in Python. So I hope now everybody can clearly see the difference, guys, what is happening. This is one of the reasons why I chose Python over Java. Yeah, yes, of course, there are many other differences, people. Just to give you a glimpse of it, I chose these 2 examples just to show you. Okay, so far so clear, everybody? So far so clear, everyone? No, you need not to. You need not to, Sai, because we created a separate class of the main. You need not to separately create it. Okay, so don't worry about it. Yeah, we not need to create it. We need not to create it again. Okay, cool. How to print a number along with the sentence. What number you want to print, Tarun? What number you want to print? No, Sai. That is not the value of a value of the I will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Value of the I is not a welcome to lol. Value of the I will range from 0 to 99. 0 to 99. Okay, Tarun, don't bother about those things. Don't bother about those things. You can just, simply, you can remove this. You can put it in the instance. You can just remove that welcome to lol. You can put it. That's all. Nothing matters. Nothing matters there. Hi, hello, everything within the single quotes. You can write it. The same thing will be printed. If you want, you can just see. I'll just remove this. Just observe here. Okay, don't bother about the programming part for now. What I'm trying to show you is only the difference. That all. See, if you just want to see inside the lol, if you want to print hi, hello, if you want to put anything 21, if you want to put my age 55, you can put anything. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Answer will be the same. Look, I just have to one second. Yeah, see, the same thing will be printed 100 times. It doesn't matter. Okay, don't bother about the syntaxes or anything for now. That we will see when we start the concept. So this is what I'm trying to show you here, the difference between the programming language Java and Python people. Okay, now, so this is one of the primary reasons why we can tell that Python is much easier to learn over Java people. Okay, so along with that, as I told you, readability. Now, if you see, there are many people here who doesn't have any programming language. When you look at the lines in the code, coding part of the Python, did you find any difficulty here? Did you find any difficulty here? To understand that line, just to understand that line, did we find any difficulty? No. Right? So why? Because of the simplicity in the syntax. Okay. So now you might ask, so what are the opportunities do I have Python? What are the opportunities do I have Python if I do Python? Okay, observe here. So what all we can do, people, in a simple way, I can tell you can become a programmer. You can just simply become a developer. Okay, you can become a developer. Yes, of course. And you can become a tester as well, people. Now you might be wondering, sir, how can I become a tester if I learn a programming language? Yes, guys, when it comes to the testing, once you learn automation, people, once you learn automation, Python has its own libraries for the testing, for the automation. So even today, currently in the current trend, many of the testers go with the Python in automation, people. That you will understand when we are dealing with the further topics. Okay, so along with that, what else? Suppose if you want to learn data science. So there are two primary languages which are preferred if you want to learn data science, people. They are what? One is Python and the other one is R language. But the most preferred one is always Python. Yes, apart from that, you can learn machine learning. Yes, for even to learn machine learning, you need Python, and you can learn AI once you finish. Once you finish Python, guys, you can even go for the artificial intelligence, which once again requires a Python. Okay, so these are a few of, yes, and you can become a web developer. You can become a web developer. Okay, so how can you become a web developer? Yes, as I told you guys, you need to learn frameworks in Python. So these are the few of the opportunities which I have mentioned, that if you learn Python, what all the things or what all the possibilities you have in future. So those are, I have mentioned it here. So let us just beautify them a little bit. Just give me a second. Give me a second, guys. So is whiteboard visible to you, everybody? Is whiteboard visible? Is whiteboard visible to you, everyone? Okay, okay. Just give me a second. Okay, let us continue. So where we are and what is he asking? Okay, fine, people. So this is about what all the different opportunities we have if we learn Python. Okay, now we understood now why we are learning Python. Why we are learning Python, we understood, and what all the different opportunities that we get if we learn Python, right? So next, let us start with history of Python. History of Python. No, we need not to use the semicolon in Python, Harisha. You need not to use the semicolon at all in Python. Okay, so don't bother about it. So let us start discussing about history of Python. Who invented Python? Anybody? Any idea? Who invented Python? Any idea? No one. Just like for C programming, you say father of the C program is Dennis Ritchie, right? So likewise, there must be someone for Python as well, right? So really perfect. So who is that? The guy's name is Guido van Rossum. Guido van Rossum, I'm sorry. So he is the person, people, who is called as the father of Python. So he is the one who invented Python, people. So he invented Python in late 1989. So late 1980s, he invented Python. So how did he invent Python in the first case? That's an interesting story, people. Okay, now scope of Suprita, I'll answer your question. Scope of Python in cloud computing. Yes, once again, buddy, it will be used in the automation part in the cloud computing. So you can take the AWS. Yes, even AWS. And now cloud computing also, you need automation. In automation, you can use Python. Okay, that is one of the preferred languages. Okay, yeah. So now, so this guy, Van Rossum, he used to work with a company called CWI. So what is CWI? Do not bother much about it. It is called, what is the Centrum Wijkendi Informatica. Centrum Wijkendi Informatica of Netherlands. It is the National Research Institute of Netherlands people. So when he used to work with the company, people, one thing that he frustrated about is when he is dealing with, he was trying to work on a programming language called ABC. Yes, there is a programming language called ABC, and he used to work on developing an operating system called Amoeba. So when he was doing this, he was coding mostly in C. C program. Now, guys, you know the complexity in the C programming and the Java as well, mainly because of the syntax as well as the length of the code. For every single operation or for every single function, the length of the code will be very complex as well as lengthy. So what he thought is he decided to create his own programming language for his projects rather than using the existing languages. Well, there are many programming languages even at that time as well, but he preferred to create a very simpler language, which is small and easier to understand. And that's how he came up with the idea, and he created a new program called Python. Now, Python comes from name. The name Python comes from, its name is Monty Python's Flying Circus. Now, this is, guys, a British comedy series. It is just a program, guys. It's just a comedy program. When he was watching this program, is simply he wanted it to be little humorous. His programming language want to be little humorous, and at the time when he was watching this particular program, all of a sudden something struck his mind, that is the word Python, and just he simply named it. There is no particular reason behind. You can see, two Pythons in the symbol of the Python, and there is no reason behind it, people. It is simply just abstract name, you can call it. He just got it into his mind and he named his programming language as Python. So that's all. Okay, so this is a simple history. As I told you, in 1989 he invented it, but officially, so official launch of the Python was 20th Feb 1991. So this was the first programming version, 0.9. 0.9 was the first programming version of the Python, people, which is launched in 1991. So for now, after that, there were many other versions. For example, 1.0, 2.0, and we have 3.0. Within 3.0 we have many versions. Currently we are going with 3.9.7 as of today, people. As of today, the current version of the Python is 3.9.7. Yes, of course, with respect to the versions of the Python, people will be discussing more. Don't bother about it for now. So I'm just trying to tell you how the Python is created, when was it created, what are the different versions of it. Okay, so that is the brief history of Python. Okay, so now another important point that I would like to show you guys here, the importance of the Python, how it is growing every day. Now you tell me, according to you, which is the most widely used programming language in the world? Which is the most widely used programming language in the world? Anybody? According to you? Python, JavaScript, Java, Python, others. I think most of you are wrong, people. Most of you are wrong. Suri, you have to take any one. Okay, observe here. So there is a particular website. There's a particular website which always gives this is called TIOBE Index, people, which always shows the health of the every programming language and its usage. Now, if you see, this is as of September 21st. As of September 21st, if you see the highest, the programming language which comes in the first place, so which is most widely used in the world, is still C programming. Still it is C programming, and then comes Java, and then comes Python. Now if you see exactly October last year 2020, people, October last year 2020, the first place was for C programming itself. Even today, no matter how old it is, even though it was invented in 1960s, people, so still C programming is most widely used programming language. Why it is so, that I will let you know. Why still it is very complex, why still it is the most widely used, that you will understand later. Okay, now in 2020 October, it was still Java, guys. Second place was for Java. Now if you see the current ranking, if you see the most widely used programming language, the first place goes to C and the second place goes to Python. See, it has changed 1.2% to come to the second place this year. So this particular website to show you always which are the most widely used programming languages. Well, it gives many other details about this for now, which is not necessary for us. All I'm just trying to show you is which is the most widely used programming language. Though Python is relatively slower than Java and C, not relatively, people, in fact we can say that it is much slower compared to remaining those two, but still it is one of the most widely used. Why even though Python is slower, why it is the most widely used programming language in the world? Now, because of its simplicity and its libraries, people. So what exactly the Python libraries are, do not bother about them again for now. When the time comes, I will definitely explain them. Okay, so this is a little bit about the history of the Python and why we are learning Python. So far, anybody any doubt? So far, anybody any doubt? Before I go further, anybody any doubt? So don't bother to copy any of these things, people. Everything about everything I will clearly provide you. I'll provide you the PDF of all these notes. Okay. Yes, Riddhi, you can use it both for front end as well as a back end, buddy. So as I told you, if you want to use it for the front end, you must learn frameworks. Okay. So shall we continue? Shall we continue further? Shall we continue further, everyone? So now, so guys, few of you know and few of you might not know. The people who are not from computer science background, you might be knowing that. So this is a high level programming language. So Python is a high level language, guys. So what are these low level languages or high level languages? So to understand that, we need to see the evolution of programming languages. Evolution of programming languages. Observe. Guys, it all started somewhere in the 1940s. Okay, so the programming language, even today, whatever you write, people, you write it in Python or Java or whatever it is you write in, people, but still your computer cannot understand them. Your computer can understand only one programming language, people. We call it a binary language or machine level language. Binary language or machine level language. So what exactly is machine level language? And apart from this, we have assembly level language and high level languages. So what are they? Let us learn in detail. Okay, so machine learn language, machine MLL, or we can call it a machine level language. Okay, so this is invented somewhere in the 1940s, people, which is made up of only zeros and ones. It contains only zeros and ones. And this is the only programming language that is understood by your computer, no matter which language you write in, right? Be it C, C++, Java, Python, C#, COBOL, okay, Ruby, you take anything. Your computer cannot understand any other language. Then how are we programming in these languages? That you will understand in another few minutes. Okay. Now, if you see, guys, what is happening here? What is happening here in this case? Let us say there is a person called a developer. Okay. So now developer writes his program. The developer writes his program in machine level language. Okay, so let us say he writes his code in MLL. Observe. So let us say this is some code what he's writing here. So as I told you, people, it will contain only zeros and ones. It contains only zeros and ones, right? Now, what happens to this code? This code will be directly executed, or firstly, this will be given to the processor. Now, who will execute the program in the computer, guys? The brain of the computer, what we call that is processor or microprocessor. Okay, so what do we call it? This is microprocessor, a semiconductor device. So this is the one. What is the spelling, guys? Processor. Microprocessor. This is the one which executes every single program what we write. So now what happens here? Your programmer writes the program in machine level language, which consists of only zeros and ones. So that program, or we can call it a source code. This source code is sent to your processor. This is sent to the processor, and processor produces your output. it produces an output. Okay, so let us call this as output. Now, as I told you, just a second. Yeah. So here, guys, in machine level language, entire code will be written in zeros and ones, right? Suppose if you want to add numbers, let us say, still you have to write it in somewhere in, zeros and ones. It can be anything, people. Whatever you write, it must be written in zeros and ones. But don't you think it is pretty difficult for a programmer to remember each and every single number? Am I right or wrong? Isn't it difficult for a programmer to remember every single number or every single operations in zeros and ones? Yes. So now that's when they came up with a new idea. They started using mnemonics. So what are mnemonics, people? Mnemonics, we call them. Observe here. Mnemonics. So here mnemonics, instead of the numbers, what they use is they use small words which are called as a mnemonics: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, square root. Okay, so which particularly represents the particular operation, which represents an operation. So if I write add represents addition, sub represents subtraction, mul represents multiplication. Likewise, for every single operation, we have mnemonics. Now, if you just type in the internet, people, the mnemonics used in assembly language, you will get thousands of mnemonics. Now, you tell me how fair it is for a programmer to remember thousands of words. Not possible. So it is, yes, comparatively much easier when it is compared to the MLL. It is much easier to write the program in terms of words, right? All we just have to use is words, but still once again, this is slightly difficult. Now, when the program is written using these words called mnemonics, we call it as ALL. So what is ALL? Assembly level language. What is ALL here? Assembly level language. So what does it do in assembly level language? We write the program using the mnemonics, but there is a trick here. As I told you guys, you are now, as a developer, you create your program in assembly level language because you felt it easier for you. But as I told you earlier, your program or your computer will not understand. Your computer will not understand this. So what we have to do? We have to convert this into machine code. We call it machine code, people. Anything, or binary code you can call it, or machine code you can call it. So anything that is written in terms of binary language is nothing but machine code. So who does this? So this is done by a program called assembler. So who does this? This is done by a program called assembler. So what does assembler do here? Simply assembler converts your assembly level code written in the assembly level language into machine level language. Okay, just a second, let me draw a diagram here as well. So what do we get here? This is, I'm just writing the diagram clearly, people, so that you understand it when you see it next time, rather than learning everything again and again. Okay, so this is a microprocessor. Within the microprocessor, whatever the code it gets, how does it get? It gets, in terms of zeros and ones. Okay, so I'm just randomly writing few numbers. Don't bother about it. Okay, so now what do we get here? Here, this programming language is called ALL. What is that ALL? ALL is nothing but assembly level language. So this ALL is converted. Into what? Once again, byte code or machine code. Let me write it as MC, which represents which represents what? A machine code, that is in terms of zeros and ones. So what does assembler do? Assembler converts the code written in the assembly level language into machine code. So machine code or binary code, which consists of only binary code or machine code, which consists of zeros and ones. Now your microprocessor definitely understands this and it will definitely produce the output, people. But once again, think about it. Isn't it slightly difficult to remember too many mnemonics, people? Thousands of mnemonics are there. If you just type in the Google, you will get to know, guys. So now the developers wanted to write code in a much better way. So they want to write it in a simpler way, which is easier to understand, easier to read, easier to write. So that's where they came up with another concept. They came up with another concept called high level language. What is that? High level language, or we can call it as just HLL. So what is this? This is called HLL, high level programming language, or simply high level language, you can call it. So what is the difference here? What is the difference here? In high level language, guys, rather than using the mnemonics, we started writing operators. This is the first time we started using operators. Just to give me a second, let me adjust it clearly. Yeah. So as I told you, this is what machine level language, and this is what assembly level language. And then came the current programming style. What is that? High level language. So what do we do in high level language, people? Suppose if you want to do addition, we simply use an operator called plus. If you want to do subtraction, we simply use an operator called minus. Suppose if you want to use in terms of let us say multiplication, what do we use? We simply use an operator called a star, which does multiplication. So like this, guys, rather than using mnemonics, we started using operators for the first time in high level language. So once again, guys, in high level language, what do we do? Just a second. Yeah. So once again, in high level language, guys, we can write the code. We can write the code in a simpler language, which is understandable. When you read the code, people, you must be able to understand. That is the primary goal of the high level language. The first such high level programming language, which was official programming language, people, is Fortran. Okay. Now, you can just simply remember that if anybody asks you which is the first high level programming language, is Fortran. I'm sorry. Yeah. So what we do in the high level programming language, people? In high level programming language, we write the program in a simple English language, which can be understood by everyone. And we started using the operators here. Now, once again, this will not be understood by the computer. So what do we do? Again, we have to convert it into MLL. So we have to convert it into MLL. How do we convert this? So this time we have another software. We have another software called compiler. What do we call it? Compiler. So what does compiler does, people? Compiler converts high level code written in the high level programming language into machine code or byte code, which further feed it into your microprocessor, and your microprocessor further produces the output, guys. So this is the simple history. This is the simple history of the programming languages. So we started with a machine level language, which consists of only zeros and then ones. And then we switch it to the assembly level language, where the program is written in terms of a mnemonics. Operations are performed. In place of addition, we used to write add, sub, mul, mnemonics. We call them what? Shortcuts. So short words, which are called a mnemonics. And then we eventually actually evolved to the new type of the programming language. So this is somewhere in 1950s, people. Okay, this is somewhere in 1950s, and this is somewhere in this is somewhere in 1940s, and this is in 1950s, and this is from 1960 to present. So even today we are using the same concept called high level language. So what does this high level language does? We write the program in human understandable lines, so which is again converted into the machine code or the byte code by a software called what? Compiler. And compiler that feeds into the microprocessor. The machine code which it has created, it feeds into the processor which executes that, and once again we get the output. Why we are getting the output? Once again, still at the end, if you see, people, in no matter which language you write, the code which a processor is getting is always a machine code or byte code. Okay, so did you understand so far? Did you understand so far, everybody? Did you understand the diagram, and did you understand the explanation? Everyone, please confirm. Now, okay. So what can we conclude here, or what can we draw here? What can we draw from this explanation, whatever? And we learned a few things. People, observe whatever the code that we have written here, right? Whatever the code we have written, be it in ALL, be it in MLL or HLL, this is called source code. What do we call it, people? Source code. The code which is written by the programmer is always called as a source code. Now the code which is understood, by the processor is called what? So this is what machine code, or you can even call it as binary code. Okay, so observe carefully. So what is happening? So again, we saw two new softwares here. What are they? Assembler and compiler. So what does assembler do? What is assembler? It's a, if somebody, yes, you might have seen, if you are a computer science student, people, assembler and compiler, these are the very important words for you, particularly when you go to your labs, and that too in the Viva, people, right? So what is an assembler, guys? You can simply call it as, it is a system program. What is it? It is a system program which converts code written in what do we write? Let's just say ALL, code written in assembly level language into machine code, or byte code. You can write either of those, no problem. So this is the simple definition of assembler. What is assembler, guys, people? Assembler is a system program which converts the code written in assembly level language into machine code. Now you must remember, machine code contains only what? It contains only zeros and ones. And another one, final part is what? Compiler. So what is compiler? So what is compiler? So what is compiler? Once again, it is a system program. Which converts what do we write here? Source code, or you can write it as simply high level language code written in high level language, or HLL into machine code. Okay, so that is all, people. What is an assembler? Assembler is a system program which converts code written in ALL into machine level language, and Compiler is a system program which converts code written in high level language into machine code. That's all. Okay. Anybody, any doubts? Anybody, any doubts so far? Anybody, any doubts so far? Anyone, anyone, anyone? So far, whatever we did today in today's class, do you have any doubts? Everybody must respond, guys. Everyone must respond. Okay, so this is about machine level language and assembly level language and high level language, people. So we will stop, since this is the first day, people. Like, we shall not go much in depth in tomorrow's class. We shall further discuss what exactly this compilation is, and we shall discuss what is a new term called interpretation. What is interpretation? And we further study the evolution of programming languages, such as what are structured programming languages, unstructured programming languages, what is object orientation, or what is object orientation in any given programming language. All these things we shall be discussing in the second class. Okay, so that is in tomorrow's class, exactly at the 7 p.m. Now, do you have any doubt to ask? Do you have any doubt to ask in today's session? Or any other doubt with respect to, the course? Is the speed okay for everyone? Is the speed okay for everyone? Okay, perfect. Interpreter, you will learn it in the next class, buddy. Thank you, Tarun. So guys, how did you feel? How did you feel about the class? How did you feel about today's class? How did you feel about today's class, everyone? Do we have poll in the Zoom, people? I really don't know about it. I don't think we have poll in the Zoom. Okay. Thank you, people. Thank you so much. So I will make sure, guys, every session that happens from now onwards will be at the same speed. But in case anywhere, if you feel that I am going fast, you can just say, dude, control yourself. I will definitely control my speed, guys. Okay, so if you don't understand any particular part which I'm explaining, guys, please do ask. I will be very glad to repeat. So today we didn't get any chance to any repetition because nobody asked people, but okay, but if you have such doubts, guys, if you want me to repeat, okay, definitely I would like to repeat anything that you don't understand. So guys, so this is our first class. So tomorrow we shall continue for the people. Now you won't be, for the first 3 to 4 days, we will not be working on the programming part. Don't bother about it. So let us first understand the structure in the beginning, and then eventually let us build our basics strong. How exactly the processor works, how the code is taken into the processor, the memory mapping part. Once you understand the memory mapping part, people, it will be quite easier for you to understand the logic in the program. So that is the reason I'm not taking any of the programs for now. Yes, eventually, slowly, we will start writing with the very simpler codes, and then eventually we will be increasing the level as well. Okay. Yeah. With respect to the recording, people, so by tomorrow morning, recording will be available in the batch, guys. Don't bother about it. And yes, with respect to the PDF, guys, I will share the PDF in the Telegram channel right away. So after this, after the class, I will start the today's material. But I don't think it is quite important for the day, people. Let us wait. Let us wait for another 2 days, and then I shall start sharing. Or yeah, okay, if you want to repeat income, don't worry. Yeah, I will share it today itself, people. I will share it in the Telegram channel as well as in the our LOL app. Okay, so that is all from my side, people. Please inform your other friends as well. The demo classes will go on till Friday. So Friday will be the last demo class, guys, and then you can decide whether you can take up the course or not. So you can inform your friends, you can share the link which I'm sharing it to you. Anybody can come and attend the class, people. Okay. Okay, so shall we stop for the day, guys? Shall we stop for the day? We shall continue tomorrow. First 1 week, we shall have 1 hour classes, not more than that. Okay. Okay, Tarun, not a problem. Okay. So that's all from my side, people. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. See you in tomorrow's class, guys. See you in tomorrow's class. Yeah, we'll be having an aptitude session, guys, after this in the YouTube channel. If interested students, you can join for the YouTube class, guys. Today, aptitude class will be only in the YouTube, guys. I will share the link in a short period of time. Okay, so whoever are coming, see you guys in the aptitude class. Thank you, Manohar, for reminding me.